Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are just going to run through a couple of examples for solving um, by elimination. It's also known as substitution. I'm just going to call it elimination for our sake because this is kind of what I refer to it as, mostly in class. So there are a couple steps that I know you guys are going to say, but Ms. Curtin, there are too many steps. So let's try and break them down. Number one. In general, we want it in the ax plus by equals c form. One of the reasons is that when we cancel out our other variable, it's still on the left side. Number two, we need to line up our terms. So in each equation, we're going to have line up the terms. And let's see, number three, I want to choose a variable. And I know we might be doing a little bit extra work for some of them, but in general, I find that this system works the best so that you're kind of doing the same thing. Choose a variable. We want to check the signs because remember, they have to be opposite. So we need one to be negative and one to be positive. 5, we want to distribute. And we'll talk about when that one doesn't really need to happen. And then we need to make sure we add. Okay? So make sure you have these copied down. If you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it and then come back. So let's just go on to our first example. Let's see. So in my first example, number 1, we're going to have 4x plus 8y equals 20. And equation B is going to be negative 4x plus 2y equals negative 30. So step 1's already taken care of for us because it's already in ax plus by form. Step 2 has been taken care of because it's already lined up. Now step 3, we can choose a variable. But I want you to be careful because in this one, I want you to notice something. Both of our x's have 4's. One of them happens to be positive, one of them happens to be negative. Since that's the case, if we can find that, then I don't have to do anything but go all the way down to step 6, which is to add. Okay, so I'm going to go back and I'm just going to add because these are going to cancel. 8 plus 2y is 10y. 20 plus negative 30 is negative 10, so just remember to add these. And then we divide by 10 on both sides. Y equals negative 1. Okay, now in order to get my x, I have to take that and plug it into one of the original equations. For the ease and comfort, I'm just going to plug it into the first one. So equation A, which is 4x plus 8y equals 20. So this kind of goes back to our substitution. So let's see, this y is going to be replaced with this negative 1. So it's going to say 4x plus 8 parentheses negative 1 equals 20. Remember, the parentheses means multiplication. So it's 4x plus negative 8 equals 20. Add 8 to both sides. These cancel. 4x equals 28. Let me move my paper down a little bit. We need to divide by 4 on both sides. X equals 7. So our solution, because remember I'm asking you to write this, our solution would be 7, negative 1, because it's that x and y. Okay? Let's try another one. So we're going to follow those same steps. So with this other one, though, we have 8x plus y equals negative 16. We have negative 3x plus y equals negative 5. So the nice thing about this, if we check, okay, number 1 is taken care of. It's in ax plus by equals c form. They've already lined all the variables up for us. Now we need to choose our variable. Which one do we want to do? And one of the ones that I'm looking at right now is going to be the y's. One of the reasons I want to look at the y's is because they both already have the same number. It's invisible, but they have the same number. I just need to make one negative because remember, one has to be negative and one has to be positive. So it doesn't matter. I am just going to take this one and multiply it by a -1. And then it doesn't matter, but I'm going to multiply this one by 1. So our new equation is going to be -1 times 8x, which is -8x. -1 times y is a -y. And then -16 times -1 is a +16. And then I'm just going to multiply the equation b by 1 plus y equals -5. I already distributed, so I can jump down to step 6, which is to add them. So -8 plus -3, well, if I borrowed $8 and then I borrow another $3, I kind of owe all of that money, 8, 9, 10. So that's going to be $11 I owe, so that's -11x. Our y's cancel out, and then this becomes 11. Divide it by -11 to solve for x, and x equals -1. Okay, now from here, I need to go and put it into one of the equations. Again, for me, I don't know why, but I always go towards the first equation. It's kind of up to you. So 8x plus y equals -16. Going to the original equations. So that becomes 8 times -1 plus y equals -16. Remember, we have to multiply first. So it's going to be -8 plus y equals -16. This is a -8, and the inverse, or the opposite, is going to be +8. So +8 plus 8. These cancel, and y equals a -8. So the solution is -1, -8. Remember, you can pause this at any time that you want to. Go ahead and pause and then just double check, make sure that you have the correct answers, that you're following along. So it doesn't matter if you're solving for the x first or the y first, you should have the same answers. Okay, let's try another one. So we're kind of growing in our complicationness difficulty level. So 4x plus 9y equals 9. And then we have x minus 3y equals -6. Okay, so all of this has very nicely already been lined up as an ax plus by form. Now all I have to do is choose my variable. I think I want to choose my x. Okay, now keep in mind that I need to check my signs. So do we already have opposite signs for x's? Because remember, that's how they cancel out. One has to be negative, one has to be positive. Awesome, so I don't have to do anything. I'm going to take the number in front of here and multiply it by a. So this is going to be 1. Then I'm going to take the number from here and multiply it by equation b. I don't need to take the sign with me. I don't need to take the negative with me because I want to leave that negative there. Otherwise, it would just mess everything up. So when I do that, remember you have to distribute now. So -1 times, 1 times -4x is -4x. 1 times 9y is 9y. 9 times 1 is 9. Then we go to equation b. I have to multiply everything by 4. 4 times x is a positive 4x. 4 times -3y is -12y. And then 4 times -6 is -24. Remember, we want to add them. And the really nice thing is when we add them, these cancel. So then I have 9 plus negative 12, which is negative 3y, and then 9 plus negative 4. So remember, you're actually subtracting because they are different signs. So let's see. 24 minus 9 is 15, but because 24 is bigger, so it's negative 15. And then to solve for y, I'm going to divide by negative 3. Y equals a positive 5 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. And so then I'm just going to take that and I am going to go back to my first equation. Like I said, for whatever reason, I like those first equations. So I'm going to have, okay, so we're replacing that. And so we're doing negative 4x plus 9 times 5 equals 9, because I just replaced my y's, that's all. And then we have to multiply first, remember. So I get negative 4x plus 45 equals 9. And then, sorry about that, guys. Then I need to subtract 45 from both sides. Okay, these cancel. We have negative 4x equals negative 36. Divide by a negative 4. Do not forget your negatives. I'm noticing a lot of people are, which is messing up their progress. So x is 9, y is 5. Our solution is going to be 9, 5. Again, make sure you pause this at some point. Double check yourself. If you have questions, please bring them in. Otherwise, we can talk later. Have a good night.